Hello, my name is Simon Gibson. I'm the founder of World Speech Day. First, I would like to say how grateful I am to World Speech Day women, and to Vino in particular, for inviting me to speak today on International Women's Day. Thanks to Vino's remarkable energy and commitment, World Speech Day has grown into an extraordinary success, and I'm so pleased to see it flourishing. World Speech Day itself began as an idea. Speeches change the world. And right now, we see women all over the globe making speeches to change the world around them. And yet, lest we forget, women's voice in society is a relatively modern phenomenon. Something which characterizes our age, the sound of our age, if you like. Malala Yousafzai once commented, "When the world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful." So it is the movement from silence, of women out of silence, that we are celebrating today. We celebrate their willingness to take on silence, to be the one voice perhaps, but more prosaically, in everyday life, being prepared to break the silence and speak up. Perhaps to confront. More often though, to share ideas, to believe in progress. Above all, to use nothing more than the simple power of the voice to uphold values, to weave into the words we use the beliefs and values we hold dear. Watching President Zelensky speaking to the people of Ukraine recently was a wonderful example of why speech matters. Because he spoke, others might believe. Because he spoke, people could see the truth. Because he spoke, people could understand the very power of speech itself. It seems such a fragile, impotent weapon, yet the human voice and the need to speak to others in matters great and trivial is what keeps our society together. And if we seek progress in any matter, we start with the power of a speech. I believe that speaking brings ideas to life. Often, I don't know what I think about a subject until I have to speak about it. And then I have to know my mind. Speaking crystallizes thought. And I firmly believe that practicing speaking helps you think better. The pathways open, the synapses embrace, and we find new thoughts that we were unaware we entertained until we started speaking. Speaking develops the mind. Moreover, frequently society doesn't know what it thinks about a subject until people start making speeches about it and we understand the different points of view, complexities, nuance, meaning. And then, of course, speaking creates an audience. It gathers people together. It is civilization's huddle around the firelight. The audience is the other side of silence. It is what we create when we move out of silence. In many ways, the listener seems to be doing nothing, but actually listening plays a vital role in our communities. It is the listener who spreads ideas, not the speaker. It is the listener who interprets, who decides what is worthwhile, what should be retold. And collectively, listeners as an audience influence the way a speech is understood, and even the content of a speech. And perhaps the most famous speech of recent history is the "I Have a Dream" speech by Dr. Martin Luther King. And this is actually a great example of how an audience changes a speech, because Dr. King departed from his script. He sensed what the audience wanted to hear from him, his inner voice. The audience communicated with him, and then he started to talk about his dream, that one day men and women would not be judged by the colour of their skin, but by the content of their character. World Speech Day is live in some 100 nations this year, and people will be celebrating speeches and speech making across the globe. It's an exciting thought, a global community, but equally the world coming together on one day to acknowledge the role of speeches in upholding values and holding societies together. It is an act of togetherness, as I say, requiring nothing more than the human voice. This year our theme is a new harmony. And one might think, with the events of recent days, that a theme involving the notion of harmony might be somewhat ironic. But I think actually it shows how crucial it is that we do find a new harmony. The pandemic taught us that this is one world, and we face common challenges. We share a common humanity. We are global citizens. In some respects, harmony seems like a soft word, a word that no one can disagree with. But in fact, harmony is a radical word. It requires courage and innovation. If we are to find solutions to the extraordinary challenges of our age, or indeed the huge opportunities presented by new technologies, we need a new approach. The old divisions won't work. The tasks are simply too great. Take the environment, for example. To achieve harmony with nature will require very radical change to our way of life. So we need a new harmony that's brave, that seeks convergence. And this is really tough, even in personal relationships. Creating a new harmony often means sacrifice, facing demons, accepting others, in the end being open to life. And of course, central to the idea of harmony is the notion of voices coming together, creating a sound which is more than the sum of its parts, a sound all of its own breathing. In harmony, all voices are equal, like the sublime, intoxicating mix of voices at the end of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. Voices around one word: joy. Harmony is like no other sound on earth. Let us hope it is the sound that characterizes our next stage. So thank you for coming forward to speak on World Speech Day Women's celebration of International Women's Day. You are now the new unexpected voices with ideas to shape the world. Thank you very much indeed.